most men like to say that physical touch is sex. Sex is not the physical touch. I crack up because I say, if she scratches your back or your head, do you like it? Oh, yeah, I love that. Every physical touch person likes, oh, I love it when they scratch the back of my head. I love when they hold my hand. I love when they give me a hug. I love when they put their arm around me. I love when I'm driving and they reach over and grab my hand. It's you reaching out and wanting to physically touch them.
It's almost like they should relabel it physical touch points.
Yes. Yeah. But I've thought about a lot of his names and I'm like, you know what? I understand why he ended up there, because you could make the titles be 6 miles long, but it's harder to remember.
You got to do it broad too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's different.
Yeah, and then people will reject your concept if it doesn't cover, oh, well, I don't like my head scratched, so I'm not physical touch.
Yeah.
No. And you can go online and you can take any love language test. They're free. There's tons of them. And there's even examples where you can Google and just say, how do I speak this love language? And it'll give you specifics that you can do. Because I did that for one person. I'm like, here you go. Here's how you can go speak your wife's love language. He's like, thanks. And words of affirmation are compliments. And they're not just, oh, you look pretty today. It is something specific about the person. Oh, I really like it when you put your hair up. That looks really good on you. I can see your face better. It's something specific about that person and their qualities. And you were telling me something Ariana did when she did the laundry. She's like, you know, you can say, I love the way you do the laundry, man. It is so cool. You fold things so much better than I do. And it just makes my drawers look really cool. Now you're giving her something specific that she did. It's not just, I love when you do the laundry. Okay.
I should say it buys me those 15 minutes to go focus on this project I'm excited about.
Yeah.
That's how I would word that.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't fold very well.
Okay. But that's the words of affirmation she needs is about her specifically. What about me? What about my qualities do you love?
I shouldn't have said that diss without context. It's a joke in our relationship. I'm like the one that's like, it's got to be folded, socks together, all this. And then she does laundry. It's like, as long as it's in the drawer, it's in the drawer. I shouldn't have said that. If we can cut that out, man, just cut that out. I feel like that's not going to be well received.
That's all right. Make sure the love bank is full, and then that withdrawal will be just a blip. You're taking pennies out when you're putting hundreds in. That's my philosophy.
Then the next love language would be...
That's all of them. Words, gifts, physical touch, quality time, and acts of service. That's 5.
Okay, cool. I'm trying to remember what this is a derailment from. It was one of your quotes, I guess.
Yeah. And this leads to our next chapter, which is crisis management. If you have no money in the bank, your business is going to fail. You get to a crisis, hey, the air conditioner broke. It's $11,000 to replace it. We have no money. How are we going to replace it? I don't know. Well, in Arizona, in July, where we're in, if your air conditioner breaks, nobody's going to come into your business. It's going to be 105 in your inside your restaurant. Who's going to eat there? Nobody. But we got to have this air conditioner. So then you do emergency stuff. You go and sell your credit card processing, and they take a chunk of your money. So now you're even further you're further from being successful, because now you're giving away money just to deal with this crisis. And in marriage, when you're trying to resolve conflict and there's no love in the love bank, that's a hard thing to do, because I watch people do it. And there's nothing to pull from. And now you've got this great emergency. I'm empty. Why do I want to do anything for you? You've never done anything for me. And I hate always and never. But I hear it. And it's just hard to understand. And Robin Williams said, people who try to make others happy do it because they know what it's like to be miserable. And they try their hardest. And I know I messed up his quote a little bit, but that's the general context of it. And if you're trying to make your spouse happy, you're not really doing what you should be. You should be just filling that love bank. And then when you have those hard conversations, there's room to navigate that conversation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that quote is rooted in a self-centered focus. You're doing it because you know what it's like to be in a hard place. That has nothing to do with what the person said they needed. And if you always focus on like what you're getting at is you got to focus filling up someone's love bank and making sure that's full to avoid crisis, or when crisis happens, it can be handled much smoother. It comes from a place of serving the other person over thyself always. And that's even on the good days and things are easy, you got to know how to serve the other person. I feel like that's almost harder. You know, it's like, what are some of the examples in life, and maybe in business where they talk about it's like it's harder to I'm trying to think like what do people say the concept of some of the situations they say it's harder to keep what you earned than actually like getting there.
It's harder to stay on top than to get to the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you get there, and especially if you didn't fail along the way, you don't really know how you got there. You just got there by dumb luck. You just got there because, your location was convenient. But if you, like you said earlier, when you start stopping acknowledging that love, well, now you're coming off the top. Why? What got you to the top was acknowledging all the I love yous.
The basics.
Yeah.
The actual tools and the basics got me to there where she is doing things that are loving on me and filling my love bank, and I'm doing things to love in her love bank. And then it starts to taper off because you're not sticking to the basics.
Yeah. Now you're not on top anymore.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't know how to get there.